Hello and welcome to my channel Study with Delnaz. Today I am posting the qualitative tools, which is nothing but the part 2 of the video. In part 1 of the video, we understood about the quantitative tools of monetary policies. Now this time we are going to understand about the qualitative tools of monetary policies. So let's get started. So the first qualitative tool of monetary policy is moral suasion. Moral suasion. Okay, so what is moral? Moral is something which is ethical. It gives you a sense of what's right and what's wrong. And what is suasion? Suasion means convincing. Convincing. So here what happens is that RBI uses this tool of moral suasion to the commercial banks to take certain actions and measures in certain trends of the economy. In this method, what happens is that the central bank, your central bank is RBI. So in this method, RBI conducts meetings, conferences, media statements, and issues a lot of guidelines, writes letters to the bank. Why does RBI do that? Because RBI wants some specific things or some specific guidelines to be followed by the banks. So whenever RBI wants to control a situation, whether it is inflation, deflation, or reduction in money supply or increase in money supply, whatever action RBI or whatever result RBI wants from the economy, it can only happen when banks follow their direction. And for that reason, moral suasion is used. And in moral suasion, it is not force which is used, but what is done is convincing. So RBI persuades. Persuades means again convincing. Persuades is a very good word to use in this point. So you all can include this point, persuade. So RBI persuades banks through meetings, conferences, media statements, writes letters to them to do specific things under certain economic trends. Now the main purpose of holding this meeting is nothing but again to persuade commercial banks to work as per the rules of the central bank and for the welfare of the economy. So, for example, RBI may request commercial banks not to give loans to unproductive purposes, which just do not add to the economic growth, but rather it just increases inflation. So, RBI may direct all of these banks to not give loans to unproductive sectors, okay, or for maybe for illegal activities or anything like that. So RBI can always direct the central bank. RBI can always direct the banks. But whenever RBI is directing the banks, it doesn't use force as its tool. Instead of that, it uses convincing power or moral suasion method. So that was all about moral suasion, and moral suasion is usually used when all the other quantitative measures of monetary policies are not effective for monetary control. Another qualitative tool is credit rationing. Now what is credit rationing? So it refers to one of the most important measures to control money supply, and it is nothing but the allocation of credit. Now this allocation of credit can be done under priority sector lending, which is also called as PSL. So what are the different sectors which are included under this PSL? It is agriculture, education, housing, export credit, social infrastructure, renewable energy, advances to the weaker sections of the society, and MSMEs, which is medium, small and medium, micro, small and medium enterprises. Now, RBI can direct the banks to give more loan or more credit to a particular sector and less loan to another particular sector. So for example, RBI can direct all the banks to increase the credit for agriculture by 10% and reduce, say for example, reduce reduce by 10%, but which sector? Say all the industrial sector. Okay, so RBI can direct banks to give more loan to a particular sector and to give less loan to a particular sector, and that is called as credit rationing. That means every bank will have to do this credit rationing, wherein they will allocate a particular amount of credit to a particular sector, and then they have to follow that guidelines, and they cannot over give more loan to a particular sector which is actually to be given less loan. Okay, so in case when there is reduction in money supply, what happens is that large industries tend to hold the largest share of the total money supply, and in such situations what happens is that those industries that are important for economic growth but are not very strong suffer the problem of lack of supply of money. So for avoiding such situations, the RBI allocates money in different sectors of the society with the help of different tools. And what are those? First of all, you can obligate upper limits. Banks can obligate upper limits of money available for large industries and organizations. Then it can keep the interest rates higher for on loans from banks beyond a particular limit. So for example, RBI has set a limit of say 20% for the industrial sector. Okay, so out of the total loan that can be given, total loan is nothing but 100%. Okay, so that is the total loan. Out of this total loan, 20% should be given to the industrial sector. Say for example, 60% should be given to the education sector. Okay, so which is 60, 70 and 80. We need more 20. Say for example, 20% is given to MSMEs. Okay, what are MSMEs? I have already told you. It is micro, small and medium enterprises. So when a bank has this capacity of 100%, 20% should be given to industrial sector, 60% should be given to education sector and 20% should be given to the MSMEs. So this is just an example. So if this is the allocation or credit rationing criteria, then for example, now say that industrial sector has actually completed its 20%. Now bank cannot give more. So what bank will do? Bank will say that okay, I'll give you loan. I have actually crossed my limit, but I'll give you loan, but at a higher interest rate. Higher interest rate. So the interest rate will be higher. So for example, if I was giving you loan at say 10%, now I'll give you loan at 15%. Now do you want loan? Then the industrial sector, it's nothing but demotivation for the industrial sector to take more loan. Why? Because for the industrial sector, it is like the rate of interest has increased. So they are in a way indirectly demotivated not to take more loan. Okay, so that is the explanation of the second point. And offering bank credit at lower interest rates to the weaker sections of the society. The third qualitative tool is margin requirements. Now margin requirements is also called as LTV. LTV, which is nothing but loan to value. So loan to value or margin requirements is nothing but the ratio of loan amount to the actual value of asset purchased. Okay, so RBI can regulate this ratio so as to control the amount bank can lend to its customers. So for example, a very quick example. So for example, if an individual wants to buy a car from borrowed money, okay, from basically it borrows from the bank. So the individual is borrowing money from the bank to buy a car. The value of the car is 10 lakh rupees. But he gets a loan of 7 lakh rupees. So he doesn't get the loan for 10 lakh rupees itself. He will get a particular percentage of loan, and that percentage of loan will be based on the value of the property to be purchased. So for example, here 7 lakh was given out of 10 lakhs, and if you do it into 100 and do the math, it comes to 70%. So the LTV is set to 70%. Okay, so RBI can decrease and increase this LTV percentage to curb inflation and deflation respectively. So during inflation, LTV can be reduced, which means less loan or less credit is given by the bank in comparison to the value of the property to be purchased, and during deflation, LTV is increased. When LTV is increased, the credit will also be increased. Now when people will take more loan, then the money supply in the economy will increase. So there is this formula to calculate this LTV percentage, and that is MA, which is the mortgage amount upon the appraised property value into 100. Okay, so now let us just see the example in the next slide. Okay, so for example, now here we know the formula, and which is LTV is equals to the mortgage amount upon the appraised property value into 100. So now let us understand the first example. Okay, in the first example, the mortgage amount is 1,80,000. Okay, and the property and the total property value is 2 lakh. Okay, 2 lakh and 1,80,000. So now what is the LTV? The LTV comes to 90% if you do the math. These zeros get cancelled over here, these zeros get cancelled over here, this zero gets cancelled over here, 2 ones are 2 and 2 90s are 180. So 90% is the LTV over here. Now let us take the second example. Now here, what is the borrowed amount is 90,000 and the value of the property is 1 lakh. Okay, into 100, again you will see it is coming to 90%. So here the LTV is again at 90%. Okay. The next qualitative tool of monetary policy is lending margins. Now what are lending margins? So when lending margin is calculated to the value of the total property and provide loan which is in the percentage form of the total property. For example, whenever a person goes to the bank to borrow loan, they have to keep something as collateral security, right? That could be any property in the form of houses, buildings, shares, jewelry. Okay, so now bank is not going to give you 100% of loan based on the value of the property that you keep as collateral security. So for example, now let us understand this with the help of an example. Okay, so the collateral security given to the bank has a value of 100 million rupees. And the amount of loan which is provided on this property is 60 million. So out of 100 million, only 60 million is given as loan. So then the lending margin comes to 40%. Okay, so the difference between the amount of loan and the total value of property is nothing but termed as lending margins. This is the formula for lending margin. Now what is the formula for lending margin? The formula for lending margin is the value of collateral security minus the amount advanced by the bank divided by the value of collateral security into 100. Now let us understand this with the help of an example. Now for example, the value of collateral security is 50 rupees. Just for example, we will take a small example. The value of collateral security is 50 rupees and the amount advanced by the bank is say 30 rupees. That means 20 rupees you have to pay from your pocket. So 20 divided by the total security that you gave as 50 rupees into 100. So this will turn out to be 20 upon 50 into 100, and if you do the math it will come to 40%. So the lending margin is 40%. Let us take another example. Now the value of collateral security is 50 rupees and they give you a loan of 40 rupees. Okay, they give you a loan of 40 rupees. So now here what will come is 10 upon 50 into 100, which will give you 20%. Okay, this will give you 20%, 0 0 cancel, so it is 100 upon 50 with 100 upon 5, which will give you 20%. One more example, short examples, easy to understand. The collateral security, the value of the collateral security is 50. Now the bank is giving you a loan of 20. Okay, so into 100. Okay, so now 50 minus 20 is 30 upon 50 into 100, and this will give you 60%. Okay, so here now the lending margin is 60%. Of course you will cancel these zeros, and then 300 upon 5, which will give you 60. So 60%. So the lending margin is 60%. The last qualitative tool of monetary policy is direct control. So what happens in direct control? Direct control means taking action. So RBI can take action against any bank. Okay, so it refers to measures when other monetary control measures of the central bank fail to control the situation. So in such a condition, commercial banks need to perform their lending activities according to the instructions or the guidelines of RBI. Okay, RBI has every right to cancel the license of the bank and even impose penalty rates when the banks ought to adhere to the RBI guidelines. Adhere means follow, ought to follow. Okay, or to follow the guidelines which are given by RBI. This was the end of the video. I hope you like my video, and if you have liked it, please don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up. Also subscribe my channel and don't forget to hit the bell icon besides the subscribe tab, because this will send you a notification whenever I upload a new video. Please share this video with your friends and family. Let me know your feedback and your thoughts in the comment section below. I also have my email address written down below. Till then, stay tuned with my channel and take care. Bye-bye.